Lakeview Village is a hidden treasure.
Most of the residents are in independent living, and so they're really a physically active community.
I don't have a big support system except for my financial advisor. And she said, Penny, I don't care where you go. I just want you to go to a LifeCare program.
And the thing about Lakeview is if you qualify financially and especially medically, they will take care of you for the rest of your life. We did this for ourselves, but we did it for our children.
I've been at Lakeview Village 5 years. We came to Lakeview Village when we were 70. I like that it's a place where we can stay and be cared for.
Our board makes decisions based on the people at Lakeview. And unlike other communities that may have a board of directors in Chicago or New York or somewhere, our board knows our residents.
I thought it was a little early for us to come here. But after about 6 months, I realized, no, you need to come to Lakeview as quick as you can because there's so much stuff to do here. There's more things to do here than you got time to do.
There are a lot of activity clubs and organizations, art, music, writing, poetry and prose, card playing clubs, exercise groups.
And they encourage people to have pets because it keeps you more active.
And people are extremely friendly.
The people are so awesome. The people that you meet and the different backgrounds that they have are really, really interesting.
Several years ago, a few of us who were interested gathered together to talk about creating Lakeview Village University, taught by our residents. And we have had for the last 3 or 4 years absolutely wonderful semesters that are as varied as very sophisticated medical ethics to financial aid things by people who know what they're talking about, to a woman who has featured just come bring your favorite music and we will each talk about what's our favorite music and many, many more, you know. But this is kind of special when it's really taught by people who've lived their lives in that field doing some things. And then right now I'm actually co-teaching something on race, and the people in it are wonderful, and it's good to talk openly about our feelings, so yeah.
So there's something for everybody. You can do as much as you want, or, you know, nothing if you don't want to do something. I mean, there are people that go from one class to another class to another class because there's so much going on there.
There were all kinds of housing options, from single-family homes to high-rise apartments, and when I toured this building, the North Point building, I was shown an apartment on the 5th floor facing the lake that's behind me, and that did it. That was the end of the decision in that respect.
The tower had my living, and it had my studio, it had the restaurant, you know, it had the workout space.
I don't want to take care of a house anymore. I don't want to mow the yard. I don't want to have it painted. I don't want to replace a water heater. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Lakeview launders are linen. No bed sheet, bedspread, towels to wash. The guys are out plowing the road first thing in the morning.
But it's like a small town, really. We have a doctor, we have a bookstore, we have a bank, we have restaurants.
I like the whole campus. I like the walking areas that we have and the security that's here on Lakeview.
And then it is like a village. It truly is like a village.
I always, when I walk around, it's like it has that small town feel to it. You know, like my hometown where I was born. And I love that feeling.
And I would encourage anybody that's even contemplating it, come to Lakeview. We are not your mother's retirement home.
Well, hello to all of you, and welcome to this virtual event from Lakeview Village in Lenexa. We are thrilled to have you with us today. We are talking about contracts and communities because there definitely is confusion at times when it comes to contracts when you're considering a senior living or retirement community. So we're going to help you with that today. My name is Melissa Smith. I am your facilitator, but I'm really super glad that I have people in the room with me who are much smarter than I am when it comes to all this contract stuff. So we know you've got questions. We're going to give you those answers today. And we're going to do it with Heath Luke. Heath is the CFO at Lakeview Village. Hi, Heath.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. We're glad you're here because I know you're looking at contracts all the time with folks. And we also have with us Lynn Tenbrink, who is the marketing and sales director at Lakeview Village. And I know you're looking at these all the time too, because folks are coming to both of you who are looking at Lakeview Village in particular. But I think it's important today that we also state that while of course you're with Lakeview Village, as we have said before, we want people to be educated, right? We want them to understand what it is that they're looking at. Why are you guys so nice about that? Why are you so passionate about having an educated consumer?
I mean, really, that is my goal, to educate the seniors, because I want them to know what they're buying, right? There's a lot of different decisions, a lot of different variables. And at the end of the day, it's that education that can afford them the right to make the right decision. Because really that's what it's all about, making the right decision for them and what their plan may be and how they want to end retirement. So that's the real big goal for me, is just making sure that we got those educated consumers. They know what they're buying and they can feel confident that what they've contractually obligated themselves to, is what, they're expecting to get out is exactly what they knew going in.
And I know, Lynn, you are a stickler for details. If anything, I've learned that about you. And I think that's partly why you too are very adamant about people understanding all the little intricacies of a contract.
Yes, and I think when people first start this process, they don't understand how much is out there. There's so many communities, everybody does things a little bit differently. So you really do have to do your research, and it can get very overwhelming. So we want to educate everyone, we want to give a broad education, and then as you narrow down what's best for you, then we're there locally at the community then to help you get into the weeds of each community. But we need to do a broad overview so you even know where to start, what's going to be the right path for you.
Nice. Okay. I kind of wanted to say that up front because I feel like it was really important for folks to understand that you are really genuine in your efforts to try to educate folks here today. Okay, we're going to get to your introduction in a second, Heath, but first I want to remind folks how to ask a question. It's kind of important to be able to do that. On the screen that you are looking at right this minute, right below us, is a form, and you just scroll down there, you put in your name, you put in your question, make sure you hit submit so it gets to us, and then we will get to that question. If this is a little bit of a lengthier presentation today, if we don't get to your question, then rest assured that somebody from Lakeview Village will reach out to you. If we answer your question, but it's not completely to everything you were wanting to know, feel free to reach out to Lakeview Village because they are happy to take a phone call from you and to answer those questions as well. So wanted to get that out there before we begin. So a little bit about Heath Luke, if I can right now, besides Heath being a great guy I've gotten to know over the last year, which has been nice. Heath is the Chief Financial Officer there at Lakeview Village. He has 10 years of direct experience in senior housing. Plus, he has 10 years of experience as a CPA for a large regional firm that focused on audits of healthcare and senior living organizations. See how perfect that is?
So things we're going to cover today, we're going to just do a high overview of the types of senior housing available. We're going to define what a life plan community is. We're going to really get into the contract types because that's really where the nuts and bolts of how all this may work and what you're contractually obligated for and what the organization may be contractually obligated for. The different fee structures of our contract types, some certain financial considerations, and then just an overview of how that access to health services or that care planning may play into your decision and the different contract types. So let's go right into the types of senior living housing. We have independent living. This is usually referred to as IL. These are going to be your freestanding homes or apartments, 55 and older communities. Then you're going to have your IL communities that have some healthcare services available. These are usually your typical apartment type communities with some assisted living or some skilled nursing available to you on site. Then you have your independent living with full care services available. These just run the gamut. You got apartments, cottages, homes. It really just depends on how the community is offering those healthcare services. But all the services under that kind of model is all the level of care usually offered on one campus. And then your care services only, your assisted livings, your nursing care, your skilled nursing, your standalones. These may just exist on any street corner, but those are your care services only type of senior living options. So let's define a few things. Life Plan Community, formerly known as Continuing Care Retirement Community, or CCRC. So as you're exploring out there in the market, you may hear Life Plan Community, CCRC. They're usually referred to as one and the same. And really the definition is, they contractually provide long-term residential and healthcare services combined with a continuum of care typically available on-site with a priority or guaranteed basis. So these life plan communities are these all-in-one communities that basically have the full care of continuum from independent living to skilled nursing hospice. So life plan communities really offer a product normally referred to as LifeCare. So this may be confusing. You hear life plan, you hear LifeCare. Really, a life plan community is the definition of the community. LifeCare is really what they're contracting to take care of you, as that's what it really means, LifeCare. So that's really the product that the life plan communities are offering. And just want to note that, life plan communities, which are formerly known as CCRCs, and the states may refer to them as CCRCs because they are regulated at a state level, usually under the insurance commission under that state. So that's something you may want to touch on as you're exploring out there and looking at different communities. So those are some definitions. I just want to break down the key components of a life plan community. You have your insurance. So this is going to include your Medicare, your Medicaid, your long-term care insurance. That's really one component. How that life plan community is really going to basically execute on their care promise. The contract types, that's what we're going to talk about today, really, and what the different contracts are available to residents and what that means. The different financial benefits that come along with those contracts, the certain lifestyles and amenities that the community is offering that may or may not be in those contracts. And then a real big one is the access to healthcare, and then how is that healthcare paid for? Is it at a discount? Is it at a predetermined number of days? Or is it a set monthly service fee? So that's really our key components of a life plan community, and we're going to dive right into the contract types today. And this is where we have a couple more terms we need to understand before we get too deep, and one of them is the entrance fee. So this is that one-time fee paid up front to enter the community. The price of this entrance fee usually depends on unit size and type, and then also may depend on the refundability. Highly refundable contracts usually come at a higher dollar value versus the non-refundables. And then this entrance fee, depending on the contract type and what you're buying with your entrance fee, may have a potential tax benefit. And I just want to add right there on that potential tax benefit, I'm going to be going into depth in that in a future webinar here, so stay tuned on that if you want some more information. On the monthly service fee, so you'll see this one abbreviated as MSF. This is the ongoing monthly fee that you're going to pay to the community. This monthly service fee normally increases annually. That annual increase can vary anywhere from 1% to 5%. It really all depends on the community and the community history. So that's something I would also say, as you're doing your shopping, figure out what that entrance fee covers based on contract type. But then on the other side, figure out what that monthly service fee includes. And then also, understand that monthly service fee will increase over time. So you're going to want to ask those communities, give me the historical rate increase of your community. At Lakeview, we can provide over 20, 30 years of what our historical monthly service fee increase is. So that can give you that variable that you need to make in planning on what that monthly service fee may increase. And then also, under certain contract types, that monthly service fee may also have a potential tax benefit. So we need to really understand that we have an entrance fee and monthly service fee when we're looking at life plan communities. All right, contract types. Well, we're just going to be real simple, and we're going to go Type A, LifeCare, Type B, LifeCare, Type C, fee for service. Then we have a rental fee for service, sometimes referred to as Type D, and then an equity fee for service. So as you can see here, we're going to break out what you get with the Type A LifeCare. Type A LifeCare, you're going to pay an entrance fee on the front end. This entrance fee usually involves unlimited health care. That monthly service fee under a Type A virtually remains the same except for those annual increases I was telling you about. And sometimes we have add-on fees as you move through the continuum, such as meals. But the main idea there is the monthly service fee remains the same as you go through the continuum of care. Under a Type A LifeCare contract, they're offering you access to healthcare. They're going to guarantee that access. And then they're also going to provide what levels of care they may provide in the future, such as assisted living and skilled nursing. So really that Type A contract is ultimately guaranteeing you are contractually obligated to provide that health care on the front end. So one of the things that's the nuances or nice things about a Type A is it becomes very predictable. It really levels out those expenses as a resident moves through the continuum, and I'll show you how that works. Under a Type A, that LifeCare, that life plan community really absorbs probably all the risk for the cost of care in some instances. And so knowing that they're making that promise to take care of you for the rest of your life, you need to make sure that life plan community is financially strong because you want them to be there to fulfill that contractual obligation. And that becomes very important, and I'll hit down the road on what that may mean and how you may want to look into that. A Type A usually is going to add less stress on your spouse and family as that plan of care has been mapped out. All the levels of care are usually on that campus. So then as you need those levels of service, you just graduate on that campus inside of your own community that you've already built. The Type A most likely comes with a tax benefit. Under Lakeview's Type A contract, it does has a tax benefit. And then also, the Type A that really includes the utilities, your maintenance, your property taxes, all that's really included in that monthly service fee. So those are the components of a LifeCare Type A. Let's look at how that may look over time. Or as you access healthcare. As you can see under a Type A, that monthly service fee is flat. So you're paying that monthly service fee in independent living. And when you go to assisted living, you're going to pay that same fee and along with skilled nursing. What to note here is that monthly service fee stays real predictable over time. So even if you access assisted living earlier in your care or later, that fee is pretty much predetermined and defined. So as you're budgeting and planning, it becomes real simple then to know what your future healthcare expenses may be. So that's one of the real advantages of a Type A is that monthly service fee is what we say follows you through the continuum. So just to note that those monthly service fees are subject to the annual increases here. So that's a Type A. So let's go to a Type B, which is also a LifeCare contract type, commonly referred to as modified LifeCare. Under a Type B, you're still going to pay that entrance fee that's going to have that healthcare component in it. Your monthly service fee, however, is going to change as you move through the continuum to access healthcare. This is very common. On a Type B, you usually are purchasing some future discount. Some communities offer a 20, some offer a 50. The entrance fee may go up or down depending on that discount amount. Some Type Bs offer a flat dollar amount or number of days that you may access healthcare. For example, some communities may offer you a $50,000 ultimately pot of money that you get to utilize as you access healthcare to offset your future costs. And then some offer days. So you may have 300 days in assisted living or 600 days in skilled nursing. Kind of really depends on that contract type. I will say in the Kansas City area, the type of Type B modified LifeCare contract is offered usually under the discount or some set fixed dollar amount that you'll get to use as you access healthcare. The cost of healthcare, like I said, is discounted. Another great thing about a Type B modified LifeCare, which is true LifeCare, you get that preferred or guaranteed access to healthcare. So that goes back to that contract. They're promising to take care of you or provide that healthcare. The life plan community here and the resident usually share the risk of that cost share. Just as you move through the continuum, that discount will be set so the resident may take on more or less of what that higher level of care may cost them. Again, under the Type B modified LifeCare, these life plan communities need to be strong financially to fulfill these obligations. I would say whatever organization or community you're looking at, you're going to want to look under the hood. You're going to want to ask for a copy of their financial statements. You're going to want to ask about what disclosures they provide to residents. And you really just want to make sure that they can financially fulfill those contractual obligations. Again, under the Type B, you're under one community, so you're going to probably most likely have less stress on the spouse and family as that plan of care has been mapped out, and you get to access those higher levels of care right in the community. A Type B could potentially come with a tax benefit. Kind of depends on what that contract looks like. Utilities, maintenance, property taxes, those things are normally included in a Type B monthly service fee. So just want to step back. We visited an A and a B, both LifeCare. Under the A, we saw the monthly service fee stay pretty flat as you move through the higher level of care from independent, assisted to skilled nursing. Under the Type B model, that monthly service fee is usually going to graduate and get higher as you access that level of care. And depending on how that discount or those days or the dollar amount discount is set, these monthly service fees may jump up over time. So if you're in assisted living, it may be one rate 6 months in, and then it goes up to market rate. So under the Type B modified LifeCare, understand that the monthly service fee just kind of graduates as you go through the healthcare continuum. So we've talked A and B's, LifeCare, both very common in the market. And then the third type that we're going to talk about is Type C, fee for service. These are also pretty common. These are entrance fees as well, but these entrance fees that you're paying in the contracts under a fee for service agreement aren't contractually obligated to provide you health care. So fee for service, Type C fee for service is kind of what it says. It's you're going to pay the fees for the services that you need when you need them. And a Type C is going to be at market rate. Under the A and the B, think about you've negotiated a big discount. So your monthly service fee may be $10,000 in assisted living or $12,000 in skilled nursing. And under a Type C, and may have been $3,000 in IL. As you can see, from 12 to 10 to 3, that's a large graduation both ways. Under the A and the B model, we can get a little bit closer a discount or predict what those higher level of care are going to cost for us. So they cost of healthcare is at the market rates. Some of the Type C fee for services offer access to healthcare on their communities, but they're not contractually obligated to provide that healthcare. So a lot of these communities may have assisted livings, memory care, skilled nursings. They will actually fill those units up from outside in the public. So if you may need to access healthcare and they don't have that available room or available unit, you may be waitlisted or actually have to move off of that campus and that community to get the healthcare you need, primarily because they're not contractually obligated to reserve that unit or room for you or offer that healthcare when you need it. Under fee for service, this is really where the resident's going to carry all of the risk for that cost of care down the road. And again, on this one, under the Type C, under the fee for service, you're going to have to navigate through the plan of care and understand what those financial implications may be because those market rates vary based on level of care and based on facilities. Fee for service, there's no tax benefit here, and the utilities, maintenance, property taxes may or may not be included in the monthly service fee. So Type C, fees are just going to increase with the market rate. As you can see, it's going to be one rate in independent living and then graduate up through assisted and skilled. The other type of contract that we have in senior living, that's going to be our rental fee for service. Basically, you have no entrance fee here as well, but you're going to have some sort of community fee. This community fee is really buying you access into the communities and the amenities of the communities with no health care. So that community fee is usually set at a nominal, much lower dollar amount. So if your average entrance fee is $175,000, you may have a community fee of $25,000. Most of the time, they're going to be non-refundable. The monthly service fee under the rental is only going to apply in independent living. You're going to continue to pay that monthly service fee. So if you access assisted living or access skilled nursing, you may still have to pay for your monthly service fee and your rental unit because these are rental agreements. These are basically annual agreements, so the organization can change them pretty easily if they want to. The community is not making a long-term commitment. You're still going to have to navigate through the plan of care and financial implications or your family. There's no tax benefit, and really depends on if utilities and other expenses are included in the monthly service fee. Just another illustration here on the rental fee for service. That monthly service fee graduates as you access the higher level of care, and it really takes that. It basically makes this unpredictable in some sense because you don't know what that may cost you in the future. All right, so the last one is the equity fee for service. We have a few of these in the Midwest, but these are prominent on the West Coast and East Coast. Really, there's no entrance fee. The resident purchases the home or villa or condo or some sort of apartment or shares. Usually that's in an equity basis. Usually there's no true entrance fee into the community, but there may be. But there is an annual or monthly community due similar to an HOA that you're paying for maybe the amenities of that community. You're going to continue to pay those dues during a healthcare stay. As you access healthcare, it's going to be accessed at market rates. Some of these communities on an equity basis do offer access to healthcare, but they're not contractually obligated. Really, the resident carries all the risk. One of the bigger things about the equity model is the exit strategy is subject to market and that ability to sell your equity in that unit. So that really puts that burden back on you when it's time to exit or you need to activate your higher level of care. You have a position that you need to get out of because you technically own it. So you're still going to navigate through your plan of care and the financial implications. Usually there's no healthcare tax benefit. Now, if you purchase these on a loan basis, there may be some other tax benefits, but no healthcare benefit here. And then the utilities, probably on your own if you own the home, but maintenance may or may not be included in those community dues. So pretty much what it says, it's equity with fee for service with those services offered to you in a community. Again, you're going to rent, buy a home or a condo. These fees are going to graduate or increase as you access a higher level of care. And then you may actually be occupying 2 units at one time. You may be occupying your independent living unit and the assisted living unit if you're accessing a higher level of care and you still own that equity position. So those are our LifeCare contracts. So let's kind of step back and pause and maybe summarize what we've just kind of hit on. I just want to highlight, when we're talking LifeCare, true LifeCare, that contract's going to follow you through the entire continuum of care. It should offer you a discounted rate, whether that's, the monthly service fee staying the same and following you through, or 20, 50% discount, maybe 80, a fixed dollar amount discount, number of days. But that true LifeCare contract, you're going to get some sort of discount when accessing healthcare. And the bigger thing there is you're going to have guaranteed access to the continuum because they have made that contractual obligation to provide that healthcare to you. Organizations, I just want to highlight here too, organizations offering LifeCare or a LifeCare-like contract or referring to a contract, as a CCRC or basically hiding behind a highly refundable contract per se. We really need to step back and understand what that means, from a standpoint of what those contractual obligations are. Are there any at all? How are they going to service those refunds? That's probably the biggest thing that I hear is, we put up a lot of money up front and we're getting 90, 100% back. My estate's going to get it. And then you hear that they can't service the refund. The other side of it may be, when you access that level of healthcare and you become financially insolvent, they just start utilizing that refundable portion to pay for the healthcare at market rates. So really understand under a refundable contract what you're getting and really make sure that organization is financially strong because those refund provisions actually become very important to you when it comes time to service that refund. And then, like I said, just make sure that you're aware of communities using terms loosely like life plan, LifeCare. You really want to make sure you understand that contract and what they're promising for those services. And those are probably the biggest takeaways on the summary there.
Heath, that was a lot of information. We're going to let you take a breath. Lynn, I believe you can answer this one for us. The question is, when you're talking about financially strong organizations, how do you know? How do you look for that information? What do you normally advise people around that, Lynn?
We advise people to ask organizations for their financial statements and for their financial background. If they're going to need to give you a refund, years, maybe decades down the road, you want to know that that money's there. Or if they're promising access to healthcare at a certain rate, you want to make sure that's the organization that's still going to be in business there to be able to offer you those discounts. So a financially sound organization should have no problem giving you their finances.
Yeah, and I would just say, the CPA in me is going to want to look right at their balance sheet. I'm going to go right to their assets. I'm going to go right to their liabilities. I'm going to understand in their liabilities section what they're contractually obligated to provide. Then I'm going to go look at the asset side. And I'm going to make sure that they got enough assets to equal that liability. A couple quick things to point out there. They should have a refund liability if they're offering refundable contracts. You want to go look at their cash side of investments to make sure that they have that liquid to service those refunds. Really look at that balance sheet. Their balance sheet will really tell the tale. You can look at the statement of operations or the income statement and see how well they're doing financially ongoing. But really, if you dig into that balance sheet, you're going to see the changes that are coming through that income statement. That's really about it. I just want to highlight what we offer at Lakeview. Lakeview does have a Type A contract. We really earned our reputation as a not-for-profit leader in senior living. The really amazing part of living at Lakeview is a lifestyle. This monthly service fee, basically includes maintenance-free living on our 100-acre campus. We have 3 restaurants and a bistro, state-of-the-art fitness center, our indoor heated saltwater pool. We have the HydroWorks therapy. We also have personal trainers on staff. And one thing to note, we are a local not-for-profit with a local board of directors. I sit right next to the president. The board of directors is made up of community leaders. So it is a perpetual board, and we are working to keep Lakeview going on forever. We are a 5-star rated, inpatient and outpatient rehab. We do meet the CMS 5-star guidelines, and we have, pretty much all levels of care, including, our own home health agency. When you access the continuum, and you come to a community like Lakeview, it's the support behind the scenes that I think sometimes gets lost, right? The billing support. You got long-term care insurance. I'm navigating through something. Well, we got a whole billing office. Oh, social workers. How am I navigating through this? Well, call Stephanie up in social working. She can navigate us through different care situations. So it's really having that support on the community that really is something you can't really recognize until you come out and see.
Well, you only have like 7 bullet points there, and there's so many more bullet points about what makes Lakeview Village great. And I could say that because I'm kind of an outsider, but I mean, like Lakeview Village University, there's the intergenerational aspect of the community where you've got childcare on there. I know your little Vivian used to be at that childcare center. So I think there's just so many things that people really, they need to come to the community. You need to come to the community to really experience and find out more about everything the Lakeview Village offers that's outside even the contract, I would say. We do have some questions that we want to get to. If we could go ahead and start there. I have and I'm going to remind you real quick how to ask a question. The form is right below the screen that you're looking at. If you scroll down, you'll see it. You put in your name, your question. Try to make it clear as you can, and then hit submit, and those come to us, and we will get to as many as we can here. Okay, so we're going to start here with question number 1 from Howard. Howard wants to know, how are you, Lakeview Village, different than other LifeCare communities in Johnson County?
Okay.
So what's the difference between LifeCare community, modified, all that you just talked about?
Well, I'd like to think we're the best life plan community offering LifeCare in Johnson County. But I'd say the primary difference is let's take it back to that contract type. So when we're talking LifeCare, we're really talking about your Type A and Type B contracts that I displayed. And really what makes it different is that healthcare component in there. Like what you're going to get for that healthcare component, and then how you're going to, what it means to you related to how much is that going to cost you down the road. Is that a discount that's contractually obligated to, a set monthly service fee, a certain dollar amount that may fluctuate, but it really comes back to that contract, that healthcare benefit. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, I want to add to make sure if you're working with communities that offer equalization, that you really understand that isn't something to gloss over, and it is impactful on your contract. So when we're talking about at Lakeview, our monthly service fee essentially following you through your other levels of care. That is not equalization. So it is important for you to understand that. So understand, do you get a discount? Is it equalization? Is the monthly service fee following you? Those are very distinct, and it's important to know the difference between each. And again, we're happy to educate you on that, because different things are right for different people. So if one of those is a better option for you, we're going to be upfront about that. And I think most communities would. I do feel like just in our industry, we're here to educate you.
Yeah.
And I would say how I interpret equalization is move to the middle. When you move to assisted or skilled nursing, your monthly service fee may go up or potentially could go down depending on the contract, but you're moving to what we call in the middle. You're equalizing that rate in your higher level of care. Unlike the Lakeview Type A, that monthly service fee stays the same and wouldn't adjust. So that's kind of how I look at equalization.
This question is from Esther. I've heard you say there are qualifications to get LifeCare. What are those qualifications? And I know you talked some about this already, but if you could help with that.
Yeah, that's actually a great question, right? Take it back to the beginning. Because LifeCare, a LifeCare contract, really the organization is contractually obligating to provide healthcare services to you. So in some regards, in some states, as I mentioned, look at that as like a form of insurance. So I look at, the qualifications. Well, we're going to financially qualify you first. You got to pay an entrance fee, and then we want to know that you can financially maintain your daily living through the community and continue to pay that monthly service fee. So we have financial implications, and then also healthcare. Right? Like I kind of mentioned, this is a healthcare type of insurance product in some sort. So in some regard, you couldn't go buy life insurance knowing you had terminal illness. So it's kind of that sweet spot to where a lot of people say, oh, I wish I would have got here sooner so I could enjoy the amenities. And then some we've had to disqualify for health. And they're like, I've been looking at Lakeview for 5 years and just waited too long. And it's like, well, you definitely qualify financially, but now you're really needing a higher level of care. And our model is really based on coming in at independent living. So we're gonna financially qualify everybody. And we're going to basically do a health assessment on everybody. And I just wanna add on the financial qualifications, at Lakeview, we have a foundation. So let's say you come, you qualify financially, you live 20 years, but in our model, you had a life expectancy of 10. You've outlived your assets. Well, Lakeview has made that contractual obligation. Our foundation will kick in and we will offer that financial support, and you will continue to live in your independent living unit, assisted living, or wherever you may be in the continuum with really no change. And that's another benefit of Lakeview Village, is having that foundation. Should you run out of assets, to no fault of your own, we've contractually obligated to take care of you.
That is amazing. That's amazing. It is a huge commitment. And I think it's worth just saying one more time about how critical it is for those who keep saying, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. What I hear you saying is the benefit of getting in there early when you are still healthy, or then you are able to take, it's a benefit. You are able to take advantage of all the type A LifeCare community offers. Right. If you wait too long, because we don't know what's going to happen next year. Don't know what I'm going to be like next year, right? So that is really an important piece to bring up.
Yeah, and I would just add, on the A's and the B's, like I was mentioning, that life plan, or, that taking that burden off your family.
Yeah.
You get there a little bit earlier, you build your community, you get to know your neighbors, you get to understand the services. So when you are moving through the continuum of care, the whole community is coming along with you. Everybody knows people. I mean, it's a really nice thing to see when you can get out and really experience, Lakeview Village.
I hadn't thought of it that way. That is really, really good. Okay, Patty is asking, I think this is for you, Lynn, how long is the wait list to get into Lakeview Village right now?
It can vary by which home you're interested in. I will say, as a general rule, the larger home you're interested in, the longer the wait. So if you do want a villa or a large cottage, I really recommend getting on what we call the priority circle, which is our wait list. It's completely risk-free. There is a fee to get on it, but it's 100% refundable if you don't move to Lakeview or just decide you don't want to move to Lakeview. And at the same time, if you're just particular about what building you want to be in, if you do want an apartment and you're very particular about which apartment, I'd get on that wait list, because then when you're ready to make a move, you're going to be at the top of the list for that style of whatever, whether it's a villa, cottage, or apartment. And that way, you're going to make the decision when you want and get into the home that you want. So it's really risk-free. The other great part about being on the priority circle is you get the news first about anything that's coming up. So we're going to have a new construction project. You get notified first. You get the first choice of if you'd like that new floor plan or be a part of that new construction project. Whereas if you're not on the list, you just, a lot of times, you may not get the opportunity to even hear about it. So there are some benefits with Priority Circle, and it's risk-free.
That's a great idea to do that. And I know you have events sometimes that are just for the Priority Circle. Marlene has a question. What's included in a monthly service fee?
There's a lot included in the monthly service fee. And again, this is something that you need to look at for each community, but I can say at Lakeview Village, what's included in your monthly service fee. The biggest part is it's all utilities, including a landline phone and cable. So all of your utilities are included. 1 meal a day is included. Bi-weekly housekeeping. We do your linen service. We wash your sheets and towels every week. Of course, your home is maintenance provided inside and out, whether it's an apartment or a villa, regardless of the size of home, maintenance provided inside and out. And then we just have all the amenities. Heath mentioned several of those earlier. The fitness center, the pool, the lakes. We have 24-hour security. We have Lakeview University, our art studio, our woodworking shop, hiking and biking trails, a fishing lake. So many clubs, card clubs and bird watching and painting and photography, and we have a foreign film club. So we do a lot of outings from the community. So there's tons and tons of amenities at each community, and most of those at Lakeview are included in your monthly service fee.
And a lot of those are created by the residents, which I think says a lot about this community. It's not like activity director is hired and brought in to just keep everybody entertained. No, these are the types of residents. These are the kind of neighbors that folks will have, are people who are like professionals, still active, but can provide you a class on medical ethics because they're a real doctor, things of that nature, which makes it a very, very unique place to be.
Or they're professional artists,
right?
Professional photographers and financial planners and
master gardeners.
Yes.
I know so many different people with so many great areas of expertise, and we get to be all around them and benefit from that.
And all the volunteer activities that we have too. We have a thrift store we call the Whatnot Shop that's all resident run. We have a resident library. So there's a lot of volunteer activities as well.
A lot of volunteering in the Child Development Center.
Yep, Child Development Center.
Of course. It is definitely a community, a place that's full of so many opportunities. Bobby's question is, we visited a community that says that they are a CCRC, but how do I know they offer LifeCare?
Right, it's a great question. And let's just circle back to kind of everything I've kind of brought up. It's going to come back to that contract, right? What type of contract you're agreeing to. Just because those terms are so interchangeable and really can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what's in that contract. What are they committing to do? Are they committing to provide you independent living services and no healthcare services? Are they committed to providing you the whole continuum of care? So really, it's just going to come back to that contract type because those terms can be used interchangeably, but it really boils down to what contractual obligation that organization has made to you.
The details matter, don't they, Lynn?
A lot.
I know, they always matter to you, which is great, but they do really matter in these contracts.
And like I said earlier, we understand that this can be overwhelming.
It can.
You can get a little paralyzed with all the information, and everybody is a little bit different. So just kind of keep pushing forward, keep communicating with the folks that you're working with, the communities, to understand it. And you don't have to be ready to move or make a decision to understand all of this. You can say, I don't think I want to move for 5 years, but I need to know what I'm getting into.
Right.
And so don't be afraid to have those in-person visits. It doesn't mean you're moving in 3 months. You can still be years down the road, but you're doing your research. And like we said earlier, we want you to be an educated consumer.
Yeah, and you all are definitely a great resource, as we talked about off the top. And I really wanted to stress that off the top because I think it is important. And you're right, other communities are going to be wanting to educate consumers too. But the fact that you can be a resource for the people who are here, if they have a question about a contract, it's okay to call Heath. It's okay to call you. And in fact, we've got contact information we're going to put up on the screen now for folks to see. If you want to reach out to Lakeview Village, the phone number to call is 913-744-2449, or you can email Lynn at ltenbrink@lakeviewvillage.org, and she can get back with you. And if you want to know how smart she is, well, there you go. So there's her credentials. Lynn's been around the business for a bit too, and between she and Heath, they can get all of your questions answered for sure.
Yeah, and I would just add, I'm always available to meet with anyone. Usually they come back through Lynn to come with a sales counselor. But even if you're not looking at Lakeview and you're on this today, or you're dead set on something maybe out of state or wherever, and you want someone to look at it, I'd be glad to do it for you, because I just want you to be educated in the decision that you make. Just because you're not choosing Lakeview doesn't mean that is a wrong decision, but if you have the right decision for you and you want to know what that contract means, I'm always open to that. Definitely look for the long-term care insurance one I've done to kind of tell you how that may work with here. And then just want to, preview that, I will be getting to the tax advantages for the ones in the room that want to know what that means. So stay tuned for that. And again, I'm always here to help.
So again, yes, that's right. Part 4 of this education series will happen in August. What to understand about tax deductions when considering a retirement community. And yes, that will be a lot of detailed information too. I think it's important to note, questions are going to come to people. If it's like me, like 2 days later, I'm out on a walk and I go, oh, wait a minute, what about that? As you're processing it and learning about it. And again, going back to these folks, they're great. So just feel free to, reach out to them with any questions that you might have.
The tax advantages can be significant, and it's something very important to understand. Is the communities that you're narrowing this down to, do they have tax deductions, and what are they? They're significant.
So are you going to help us calculate some of that, Heath?
Yeah, I'm going to use a real live example at Lakeview to show you real numbers on what that can translate into potential tax benefit for an individual or a couple. It's something that, like Lynn mentioned, when you're doing your evaluation on the front end, because that entrance fee and monthly service fee have tax implications, it may actually change your perception of the community, because it may not cost you as much as you really think of that initial cash outlay, because you should be able to reap some benefit on the back end. I've seen individuals use them as Roth conversions, or they may have a deferred tax asset, or just multiple financial advisors have asked me questions, and I can't tell them how to use it, and I'm not a tax advisor even though I was a CPA, but I will give them the information that they need in order to make the decision that best fits their client or that person. So they will have the information that they need in order to basically that qualifies them for that tax deduction.
That is going to be very interesting. That's coming up in August again. Is there anything else that either of you want to bring out before we go today? I combined some of the questions that came in. So if I didn't get your exact question answered, or if I combined it in the wrong way with something else, just reach out to Lakeview Village, or if a question came in, even if I combined them, Lynn, you'll reach out to folks, right? And just make sure that
we'll reach out and make sure that you did get your questions answered.
Yeah.
And then just be looking for our invitations for our next events.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right.
Look forward to meeting you.
Yes, it'll be great. Well, thank you both so much for being here. Thanks to those of you who attended online today, and hope you have a great rest of your day.